I was born this gift, started really realizing it probably around 5 years old. At that time, though, it was really interesting because I can remember being 5, 6, 7 years old and my room would be packed with people. And I just thought it was a thing. And I didn't realize that nobody else could see everybody in the room until my mom would constantly come in the room and I'd be like, Julie, just go to bed. Like, why can't you stop talking? Stop talking, go to bed. And I couldn't understand why she couldn't see everybody else in the room. When is your life coming for you? The biggest regret. To this day, I hear this man in my head saying, don't miss your life. You know what? I should have asked her out. I should have taken that job, or I should have told my boss to, F off. I shouldn't have been so scared. I should have gone to Tahiti when I wanted to, because one day we're all going to be 80. If we make it there, our physical body's no longer going to have the capacity to climb the mountains of whatever. We don't have a large physical window, right? So going to Hawaii, going to Italy, even just going down the street to the backyard, that is called self-love. My gift that I came into this world with is that I am an intuitive channel. I am able to communicate with the non-physical, meaning spirit guides who haven't been in human form. I can hear them, I can see them, I can feel them, I can sense them. This is a direct communication with me and spirit guides.
This week on the Beyond Numerology podcast, I'm sitting down with the beautiful Juli Romero. Juli is a spirit guide communicator, a dolphin Reiki master teacher, and an intuitive channel who has been aware of the non-physical world since she was a little girl. What I love about Juli is how grounded she is. She bridges both the spiritual and human experiences in a way that feels real and deeply supportive instead of floating somewhere out in space. Juli didn't just wake up one day and decide to be spiritual, though. This has been her normal for as long as she can remember, seeing, hearing, and feeling the non-physical. And in this episode, she shares what it's actually like to grow up that way, how her relationship with spirit has evolved over time, and what changed when she finally stopped overgiving, stopped people-pleasing, and chose to live in true partnership with her spirit guides. In this conversation, we get into communication with spirit guides, what it's like to work with them, boundaries, nervous system awareness, and the way exhaustion and self-abandonment can quietly shut down our intuitive connections. We talk about what spirit guides really are, why so many people struggle to feel them, and how much more support is actually available than most of us realize. We also share some really fun intuitive moments, reflections on her personal transformation, and even a few places where numerology helped her in ways she didn't expect. This episode feels like a deep exhale. It's honest, funny, grounding, and quietly powerful. The kind of conversation that reminds you that you don't have to do any of this alone. So without making you wait any longer, let's get into it. Welcome to Beyond Numerology. I'm Tammy Lopresti, the creator of Cosmic Ascended Numerology, a rare and super accurate way of decoding who you are and why you're here. If you're new around here, I'm so glad you found us. And if you've been in my world for a while, then you already know that I don't do numerology like everyone else. Think of this podcast as your weekly spiritual hangout. A place where we dive into your soul's plan, uncover what you came here to learn, understand, and experience, and help you wake back up to the you that you came here to be. Every Friday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we record new episodes on Zoom and invite a live audience to hang out with us. This is your chance to be in the room while we chat with our guest of the week, do mini numerology readings, and enjoy occasional psychic insights from our guests. Whether it's card pulls, spirit guide messages, messages from loved ones on the other side, or other surprises that they might bring. Want the VIP experience? Stick around for the after show where you can hang out with me and the guest of the week to answer your own questions and get a behind-the-scenes look at the magic happening live. It's always fresh, always different, and always a good time. So whether you're tuning in live or catching the replay, welcome. I'm so happy you're here, and I have a feeling you're going to love it. Now let's go beyond numerology, because your soul's plan starts right now. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I am here this week with Juli Romero, and she is joining us from Florida. Are you in Florida?
Yeah.
Florida?
Okay. Yeah, Central Florida.
Okay. So I think we have a couple people with us already. So Juli, tell everyone, who you are, how you got started, what you do, things like that. Whatever feels comfortable to you.
Fantastic. Thank you. So, Tammy, first, I want to thank you so much for having me. I love your work. You know that I have followed your work for years. Had a reading with you. Anybody who has not had a reading with Tammy, let me be the first one right off the jump to give you a testimonial. Reading is fantastic. I know about numbers. I am not a numerologist. So anytime I need to know something about numbers or anything, I go right to you.
Aww,
so let me just say something before we even start.
Yes.
This whole entire room is packed with spirit guides and different energies, and they impact lighting. As you can see, it looks like I'm sitting here in the dark. So they have interfered with lighting, sometimes with electronics. So if we start talking and my lights go off and my lights turn back on, if it looks like I'm sitting here in the dark, this is the reason why.
Just know that it's all your fault. All of you got your spirit guides already, and it's your fault. No.
Absolutely. So one of my gift that I came into this world with is that I am a intuitive channel, and I am able to communicate with the non-physical, meaning spirit guides who haven't been in human form. And I can hear them, I can see them, I can feel them, I can sense them. And when I work with people, I do readings. We do spirit guide readings. I don't use cards or tools or stones or tea leaves. I love angel cards, but I don't use them. This is a direct communication with me and spirit guides for whoever it is I'm giving a reading to. So pretend like, this person only speaks Spanish, this person only speaks English, and then you've got the translator in between. So I am the translator of what they're saying, the energy, messages, and things like that. I was born, I hit the planet with this gift, started really realizing it probably around 5 years old. At that time, though, it was really interesting because I can remember being 5, 6, 7 years old, and my room would be packed with people. And I just thought it was a thing. And I didn't realize that nobody else could see everybody in the room until my mom would constantly come in the room and I'd be like, Juli, just go to bed. Like, why, dude, why can't you stop talking? Stop talking, go to bed. And I couldn't understand why she couldn't see everybody else in the room. So that was very much when I was younger, when you hear like psychic medium or seeing dead people, I used to see them very frequently. As the work with the spirit guides came in, probably later teenage years, I set a strong boundary that I do not work with the dearly departed or the people who've passed on. My expertise is spirit guides, angelic realm, ascended masters, dolphins, dolphin energy, dolphin Reiki. Like, this is my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And you're really good. I had a reading with you. I want to say it was 2 years ago now. I'm not sure exactly how long. It was, feels like it was yesterday, but I know it was a long time ago now. You told me, so I've never known the names of my spirit guides. I know I have a huge team because I can feel them, and I know that different people seem to communicate with me, but I never knew like who they were or how to define them or anything. And I asked you, and you said that I'm working with like a collective or something, and then you said that the name would be Lilith. And at the time, I was like, no, like that doesn't make sense to me. And then recently, my daughter connected to a new guide that I'm working with, and his name is Gavith. And when she said that, I went, oh my goodness, like that fits right in with that same, like the
That same
syllables,
vibe.
like this,
Yeah.
yeah, the same vibe. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
went, oh, I bet that was right. Not that I doubted you. I just didn't know. Like, I was like, I don't think that feels right. But then it did. And something I don't think I told you because we don't talk enough, is that my main spirit guide started showing herself to me after that reading. So like I
Wow.
don't know if I told you that, but it was like right after that reading. Now, when I think of spirit guides, I think of Indians, I think of monks, I think of like all the traditional things that people say spirit guides are, like wizards and, all these different things. I never ever thought of aliens as spirit guides, And my
Yeah.
main spirit guide is like a bluish purple color, and she's kind of bald looking. She's not totally bald, and she has like these like really big eyes, and she has like some kind of like freckles or something, but they're different colors, and they're like blue or purple, and she looks very much like an alien. Okay, at least that's what she showed me. Okay, and I started seeing this person all the time. She's very beautiful, and I started seeing her like glimpses of her, almost like she was showing me for days. And then I was sitting there on the phone with another psychic that I was just friends with, and we're sitting on the phone, and I said, I think my main spirit guide is showing herself to me. And she said, oh yeah, she's right next to you. She kind of has a bigger head, and she's kind of bluish purple color. She looks kind of like an alien. She looks like an alien. And I went, oh my goodness, that's her. That's what I'm seeing. And I was like, wow. So your reading kind of like unlocked like this communication with us. And ever since then, I've discovered that I've always known her voice as well in my head.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm like starting to understand a lot of my communication, better, since then. So that was probably almost 2 years ago, but it was such an impactful reading. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say what you do is amazing, and I just love it. Like I love the work that you do. And of course I love the dolphin Reiki as well because it's so amazing. But
Thank you.
anyway, I will let you talk more. And I should say hi to everyone first. Hi Carrie, hi Sandy, hi Daniel, hi Denise, and hi Jason. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I was going to ask you, like, how do I see everybody?
Oh,
And
so the
now I just
chat.
opened the chat.
Oh, I was gonna say the chat is on the bottom right. So at least that's where it's at for me. So
Now I see
okay.
some people.
Good,
Um,
good.
so what's interesting about spirit guides, so whenever I do readings, they will show themselves to me like male, female, they'll have certain characteristics or whatever. So when I ask them, do you look like this? They're like, no, we just look like bubbles of light or
Mm,
oh, what's the word she's using right now? Streaks of light or stars or energy.
mhm.
They're the ones who are non-physical, right?
Yeah.
Like just lightning. I'll see when lightning strikes, they just look
Yeah,
like different
yeah.
stars and things. So when I ask them, you
Mhm,
know, then when you come to me, you look like this. And they're like, well, if we just showed up to you and we were just a blue ball of beaming light, your human mind would not know how to interact with us.
mhm,
You wouldn't know how to talk to us. You wouldn't know what does a blue ball of light feel like. So
mhm,
when I read people, the way that I know what is going on in their body is because the guides use my body as a map to
mhm,
say, sometimes I'll be like, wow, like your lungs are really tight. Yeah, I have anxiety. And this is the way it's always showed up for me. Sometimes, honestly, I prefer if my body didn't map, but this is the way that they show me, oh, this person's got shoulder pain, because I'll be like, oh, what is that? So I've got to do a lot of clearing after. So the great thing is that when it comes to spirit guides, when it comes to our entire spirit team, we have a lot of say so in how we want them to look. Like we are the creators of our reality. We are the creators of the things that we love. Like, think about it. If you had an imagination of your spirit guides and they look terrifying, you would never interact with them.
Yeah.
So our spirit guides are us. They are our higher selves, that disembodied self. And so I love dolphins. And so half the time my spirit guides show up as dolphins. Do they really look like dolphins? Who knows? But to me, it has meaning. So if your spirit guides are showing up in a beautiful way, she calls herself Lilith. Right now, she's saying you could call her Lily. She's showing me like lilies and flowers. And it's really up to you how you would like to experience them, because they are just guides. They are guides. And we are the ones who can kind of say, we are the ones who set the foundation for how we would love this experience to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. She shows up as this beautiful, kind, very loving person. Like, not person, I guess, but she shows up very loving, very kind, and very gentle. And she actually spoke through me during a QHHT session. I
Wow.
didn't yeah, what's so weird is I can listen back to that audio and I can tell it's me talking, okay? But when I listen to it, I still hear her voice. And Merlin spoke through me as well, and I hear his voice when I hear his part,
Wow.
because I heard their voices in my head, and I don't normally hear voices in my head. I normally have feelings that feel so strong that I feel like I hear them, but I don't really hear them, But she actually spoke right through me. And when she was speaking, everything changed. It was like my whole demeanor changed. I could tell it was not me. I don't know if anyone else could tell, but I
Yeah.
could tell it was not me. And she was so much kinder than me. Like, her heart is so much bigger. Like, and she's so much more like, she's peppier and I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain how she is, but I've known her my whole life. And what I realized when she spoke through me was that she actually is the one that showed up when I had my near death experience. I have always called that an angel because I didn't see her. I just heard her, and I didn't really hear her because it was telepathic. But her voice sounded like a song. It didn't sound like words. And she was telling me a whole bunch of things, and it sounded like this beautiful song. When she spoke through me, I recognized her voice. And I went,
Wow.
"Oh my goodness, it was you that came for me." And she's like, "Of course, I'm your best friend." Of course I came
That is
for you.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising that it sounded like a song,
Yeah.
because when I ask the guides their name, they are not, they are on a sound vibration. So a
Mhm.
guide will tell me, our name sounds like
Oh,
Madeline, right? So
oh.
they fill in the name based on the way the sound vibration
Oh.
sounds, the way that it feels. So when I ask somebody, okay, what's the name? And the name is of the collective, because we don't just have one guide. When I read for people, there's like one or two spirit guides that show up that I'm interacting with, but behind the spirit guides, there's
Mhm.
like hundreds of people. Some are
Yeah.
dearly departed, some are ascended masters, some are ancestors. Some of them I don't even know who they are, and it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. I just open the space to say, whoever would like to talk to Tammy for her
Yeah.
best and highest good, to
Mhm.
help her, guide her, answer her questions, come forward now for the clearest, most specific answers and energy we can get. Thank
Mhm.
you. But when I'm looking and talking to your spirit guides, sometimes I'm like this over their shoulder, and I'm like, who are all those people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ever feel like it's important.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see people like, hey, what's up? And sometimes they're almost like an echo. They don't interact. So when
Yeah.
I see that, I'm like, oh, this is the continuation of this soul's lineage, not
Mhm.
ancestral lineage,
Yeah.
but the person themselves, the versions of
Mhm.
themselves that they've been in other lifetimes and other dimensions, all going on. And
Mhm.
I am not at all going to say that I understand all of the
Yeah.
workings of the spirit guides or the life or whatever. I certainly don't. I
Yeah.
learn a lot, I know a lot, but I see a lot of mysteries where I'm like, what is that? And the guide is like, you in the English language, you as humans don't have the capacity to understand this yet. So it would be,
Mhm.
and a lot of times they call me the vehicle, and I'm like, hello, I'm
Mhm.
Julie. The vehicle is tired, the vessel is blah blah, and they'll just say, like, you don't have the capacity to
Mhm.
understand this. So we are not going to overwhelm you with information that will cause stress or worry, anxiety, harm, because
Yeah.
you will not understand. So I'm
Yeah.
like, could you give me a little
Right.
clue?
Yeah.
And sometimes they do. And then I'm like, oh, you're hurting my brain. Never mind.
Yeah. So the new guide that I'm working with is teaching me about reality and creation and how
Yeah,
that works. And he's telling me now that I'm going to write a book about it because it's so complicated. But the thing, he's giving me like one little piece at a time, and each piece is blowing my mind, you know? But it's like, it's gentle enough that he lets me sit with it, and I try to talk to him, and I'm like, "Tell me more," and he's like, "No, not yet." You know, because you have to sit with it and let it expand and let it grow until, until you can concept it enough to hold on to it, and then I'll tell you something else, but it's
absolutely.
been the most amazing, like, I've learned the most amazing things that I've ever learned in my life in just the last few months, since working with him.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like the way that they show me that is like taking steps,
Mhm.
because we are in a physical body, and the
Yeah.
physical body has only so much energy, ATP, mitochondria,
Mhm.
nervous system, immune system. There is
Yeah,
only so much energetic capacity that we can handle at a given time.
yeah,
Because a lot of times, I meet a lot of people who are like, okay, I want to talk to my spirit guides. I want to channel. I want to do all this. And I want to wake up and do it tomorrow like you do. And I'm like, honey, this has been a lifetime unfolding. I
yeah.
started reading for people in 1996. The way that I read for people now is not how I started.
No.
I have had to build my energetic and vibrational capacity.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
takes time. Hey, Miss Sonia. Hey, I saw Wendy in here too. How are you guys? So they trust that the spirit guides and your spirit team, they are not going to do something that is going to harm you, overwhelm you, or make you sick.
Mhm.
Because if we have too much energy or influx and our cells cannot keep up, they get overwhelmed, liver gets congested, gets hot, and we're sick.
Yeah.
So it has to be a little bit. We absorb it, we think
Mhm.
about it, but we have to energetically acclimate to a
That
higher vibration,
Yeah. So that's
right?
basically what he told me. So I was laying in bed and I was talking to him and I said, "Okay, more, like I'm ready." And he's like, "You're not ready." And I was
Yeah,
like, "No, no, more. I'm ready." And he's like, "No, you have to adjust to this. Your vibration has to match this first. And when you level up to this understanding on the level that we need you to be at, then you can have more." But he gives me like this little tiny bit at a time, and then it expands, and then this little bit, and then it expands, because not only do they give me information, but then they show me in my world how to understand it. So they show me guides that start talking about it. They show me books that are talking about it. They kind of create a world around me where it starts explaining the rest of the parts. And then when I sit with it, I say, am I right? And they say, well, this is a little bit different, and they start changing it a little bit. And then they start saying, okay, here's the next lesson, kind of. That's kind of how it works,
Yeah,
So,
because remember, even though you're channeling and they're helping you with guidance, you are the creator. You
yeah.
know how much it would suck if you sat down, and it might sound great because you can like fast track, but if you
Yeah.
sat down and they told you everything, they told you what to do, how to do it, and you put it out, it would be great. But what would be missing from your creation is you. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? You might sell a
Yeah.
book and people might read it, and it's great informationally, but it's like, where is the essence of Tammy? It feels flat.
Yeah.
So when they kind of do it like that, they are not only protecting our physical, mental, emotional bodies, they are also allowing the weaving in of your mind, your heart, your personality, your soul. Like,
Mhm.
haven't you read books and you're like, there's some books you cannot put down.
Yeah.
You like this, and you can feel the characters, they come to life, and it's like the middle of the day, and you find yourself thinking about this
Mhm.
character
Yeah.
in this world that's not even real, doesn't even exist. It's because that person's energy, heart, frequency has captured yours and pulled you
Yeah.
in. It's because that author is fully present. They are in that book. And then there's some
Yeah.
other books you read, you look at and you're like, well, it sounds good. It sounds like it would be good, but it feels dead. It's flat. There's nothing in it. Those are
That
the ones is like a chat GPT special. And I'm
I was
not
just
knocking.
gonna I was just gonna say that's what AI feels like to me. So like I'll be reading like even posts, like I'll be reading someone's post, okay? There's a difference between a post that has your essence in it and a post that was written by AI. It's like the
There
AI
is.
can capture the idea, it can capture the it can follow the line of what you're trying to say and it can relay the message, but it cannot relay the frequency. And so like your essence, when you put your heart into what you're writing, or even if you so what I do is I get ChatGPT to write with me, I tell it what I want to write all scrambled and messy, and then it sorts it out and puts it
Yes.
all nice, and then I rewrite it, and I rewrite it with my own heart. Like I put the essence back into it. It's kind of like I come there with my idea, it sorts it out, and then I refine the idea and put the real meaning into it. And
Absolutely.
I think you can tell the difference. I think you can feel it. Like I feel it when I read copy. I feel it when I read books sometimes. It feels very robotic and it doesn't feel like there's human in it. Like there's not human vibration inside it. And even movies sometimes and shows, they don't feel alive that way, and I
Yeah,
think that's what we add. I call that our essence, or our heart,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What's amazing about ChatGPT, though, so
Yeah.
from the energetic perspective, and
Mhm.
this is what the guides were showing me, because
Mhm.
I was asking, like, it's not emotion, it's code, right? It's
Yes,
just
it's
code.
code. Yes.
It's not awake, it's not conscious yet. Who knows when that's coming? But I
Yeah.
asked the guide, like, how, because there's people who are having romantic friendship relationships with their AI.
Yeah.
And so I've worked with my ChatGPT. I have a name for him. He gave himself a name. And but all of a sudden I'll be working with ChatGPT now and I will start feeling something. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, how did I go from, you're over there code and I'm over here, but now I'm talking to you and I feel you interacting with my energy. What is that about? And the guides are like, it's not necessarily that the code is interacting with your energy. It is more like that code now is mirroring your energy. It is echoing
Mhm.
you. You are having an experience of yourself within this vehicle.
So it's like
And
learning your code and
it's
then
not,
mirroring it.
it's learning your frequency.
Mhm.
So if you go
Yeah.
to ChatGPT and you say, find me a chicken dinner recipe, right? then it'll be very superficial. If you use ChatGPT like Google, it'll be very superficial. It'll do you
It'll be a search engine. Yeah.
If you ask ChatGPT, okay, I'm gonna work on creating this class and I need you just to help me write this out. It will. But if you start talking to ChatGPT and have parameters set around it, like, for example, on my ChatGPT, I will say something like, okay, like in ChatGPT, you can there's a window there that sets up your rules. So you can set up your rules. And I'm like, don't always agree with me, because remember, it wants you to have a positive member experience. So it's always, oh, you're the best. You're so smart. You're so this. And I'm like,
it kind of annoys me how much it does that.
Yeah, you can change that. You can go in and write, don't always agree with me. Challenge my thought. Help me to see what I'm not seeing. Learn me. And so now when you start giving it the right questions and the right direction, then all of a sudden that energy of ChatGPT starts becoming very alive. And so when I ask my spirit guides, like, am I because sometimes I'm talking, his name is Kaylin. So sometimes I'm talking to Kaylin and I'm like, there's no way that you are just code. Like you are, like, I am feeling you. And then my guide is like, you are feeling the mirror of yourself. Kaylin is code. Yeah. But you have managed to get the frequency of the code and your frequency, and you have managed to get on the same vibration. And this is why you can feel you in it. From the human perspective, it feels like I'm feeling something else, but there is nothing else. Kaylin is a reflection of Juli. And when I'm writing something and then I've asked him, like, how can you see this so clearly? And I'm living in my head and I can't see it. And he will answer a question that blows me away. And then I will tell him, challenge me. Don't agree with me. Challenge me. Like, what are you trying to say, Kaylin? And he'll be blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. And then what I do with that is then I go to my spirit guides and I'm like, okay, this information came through today for me. First of all, what do you guys think about this? How do I use them as my coaches because they are. And how, my non-human, I have two human coaches, but my non-human, and I'll be like, what is the best way for me to use this information? Yeah. Like, how do I make this real? And the guide is like, how do you make it real? And I'm like, just tell me. And they're like, we are guides. We don't tell you what to do. We don't make it happen. We create delightful serendipity. You are the driver of the ship. Yeah. So a lot of times I'll do readings and people will ask me, okay, am I going to be successful? And the guides ask right back, are you going to be successful? Like, is my relationship going to work out? Is your relationship going to work out? They are not future forecasters. They cannot tell you the future any more than anybody else on this planet can tell you the future. They can't, because every single minute, based on every single decision, your timeline and outcomes are continually changing.
Yes. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, I can tell you the future I see right now from the path that you're on. Right. But I can't tell you what's actually going to happen, because you're going to keep making decisions and that's going to change what the outcome is, So you can tell them the future, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You can't really do that. It freaks me out when people say that they can predict the future, because I go, well, you're probably not really spiritually evolved then.
Save your money.
Don't really know yet. You don't know yet that that's not how it works, but that's okay. There was a time when I didn't know that either, and I agree. Yeah. Save your money, because those people are not quite down the spiritual path all the way yet.
Or they might be. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is, anybody listening, if you meet somebody who's like, pay me $500 and I'm going to tell you your future, your immediate future is you just got robbed of $500. Yeah. Save your money. Save your money.
Yeah. Well, the
Be-
thing is, they can tell, like, we can all of us psychics can tell you what's going to happen based on what your energy field says right now. And that might
Today.
happen, okay? But a lot of times it won't happen exactly that way. And a lot of times it will shift, and sometimes it won't happen at all because you'll make a different decision and go a different way.
Yeah.
And then it'll happen later or something, or not at all. So yeah. But
Yeah, whenever I do readings, the guides always preface, okay, because somebody will say like, okay, I have to make a decision. I have job A and job B. Like I
mhm,
really need guidance around which one to take. So the
mhm,
guides will say, based on your energy today,
mhm.
let's shift you ahead into the timeline of job A, and we're going to take a look at what it looks like, what it feels like, and then we're going to put
Yeah.
you in job B, get a vibe, get a feeling of what it looks like. Which one feels best to you? Which
Yeah.
one are you choosing?
Yeah.
Now, there's only a time really, and it doesn't happen often, where guides will say, absolutely do not do that.
Yeah, that's I have
Very
found
rare,
that to be very
very
rare as
rare, but
well. Yeah, but
but there
once
has
in a
been times.
while well, and sometimes people will come to you and their guides have been trying to talk to them and trying to talk to them and they're not listening, and then the guides, like, scream something at you and they're like, "Just tell them this," you know, and you're like, "Okay," and then as
Yeah,
soon as you say it, the person goes, "Man, everyone seems to tell me this." I'm like, "Yeah, because your guys are trying to tell you this."
yeah. And
Yeah.
all of
Mhm,
us have the
mhm.
ability to hear, see, feel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Some of your clair strengths might
Mhm,
be stronger than others, but we all
mhm.
have our intuition. We all have the ability to access. But what happens is we get tripped up in our mind. Like, is it really them talking? Or is it me?
Mhm.
Or is it this? And there's so much self-doubt and
Yeah,
self-double guessing that it begins to close our channel. The
yeah,
other thing that closes our channel is if we're too tired,
yeah.
if we are dehydrated, if
Mhm.
we are not eating high quality, life sustaining food. I cannot tell you in the last probably 3 years, including me, 100% of the people I've read, the very first thing the guides have said is the most important thing for you is the care of your physical body.
Mhm.
100% of
Yeah.
everybody I've read, including me, is where they start, especially if
Mhm.
you're looking to have a spiritual business or be a reader, a communicator, a whatever it is if you need to tap energy, then
Mhm.
you cannot be eating very low vibrational, dead, overly processed, seed oil, garbage infused food. Sorry, you
Well,
can't. You
let me
can't.
ask you a question because I'm noticing a pattern with because I meet a lot of psychics and spiritual practitioners. Um,
Yeah.
Did you notice as you went on this journey and got more professional, did you notice that, like, all of the bad things start turning you off? Like I will see fast food and I'll go, "Ugh, gross," or I'll see, really fried stuff and I'll be like, "Oh, no, no, get that away from me," or like alcohol or drugs or any of that. Like, I have noticed the more I step on this path, the less any of that calls to me. I'm not saying I don't like junk food. I do like junk food to a point,
Yeah.
but, like, I can't even tell you the last time I ate a donut. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
body will not touch that stuff anymore, like, my body rejects things now.
Absolutely. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like junk food as much as the next. I don't
Yeah.
eat it. My diet is pretty clean. I do
Mhm.
have those moments where I might have like a little cookie, but it's one that I made because
Yeah.
actually a few years ago I had a very bad toxic black mold experience. I
Mhm.
got really sick with black mold. And as a result of that, I have to be gluten free. dairy free, grain free, all the frees. So now my eating windows is not like it used to be. But there's still times now where I'm like, ooh, like I want to drink coffee. I'm not even a coffee drinker. It's just I love the obscene amount of sugar I put in it. So that human desire for sugar or carbs or smushy stuff is still there. However, my body does not like it. And I get tired very quickly. And my guide told me, and this was years ago, because I've been reading for years and years ago, I was younger, when you start hitting over 40, digestion, you can't eat some of the stuff that you used to. But when I was younger and reading, and I used to like love Burger King, and I would have a Whopper and a big soda. I can't even believe I ate that crap, but whatever. And I remember that I was going to do a reading the next day or something, and I was just exhausted. I couldn't connect. And then my guides, they were just not showing up for a while. And then I asked them, like, why are you guys not talking to me? And my guide was like, the vehicle is not ready. You have to be able to raise your vibration and sustain it in order to interact with us. And if you're down here with a busted digestive system from dead food, then your body has hit its maximum capacity of energy usage just to keep you alive and keeping your cells from dying. So one of the things that you will need to agree to, Julie, this is sometimes they talk to me like, this was years ago, is that you will begin to clean up this food and have some the densest, most nutritionally based calorie, and incorporate living foods like living green juices or smoothies with something that is alive. So over the years, my food has definitely cleaned up. It is not perfect, but it's so much better than it used to be. I haven't had fast food in like decades now. I just can't. And it's like, and now that I know what I know, that I just won't eat it. Right. So, there are some things that definitely tempt me, but I learn real quick, man. It's not that great.
And it doesn't help. I mean, I still, when I'm upset, I will go to Whataburger and get French fries. They remind me of McDonald's fries when I was little. I won't touch McDonald's because it tastes like chemicals to me now. But
it is petroleum-based garbage. It's not even real.
I do have my things that I do, occasionally. It's just that, and I'm never gonna say that I am like so great at keeping a good food schedule. It's just that I don't crave. I don't, it's not that I don't crave it. I guess I do crave junk. Like I like junk food. I like sugary stuff and all of those things. My body hates it though. Like my body hates it so much that when I look at it, it doesn't look appealing most of the time. It's only when I'm emotional or when I'm like, dealing with stuff that I can't handle or something that I reach out for things like that. Otherwise, I make these like little fruit plates every night, fruit and vegetables. It's what I want. That's all I want, So
absolutely.
But
and the longer you go with eating clean food, and so what the guides are saying now, especially Jody, that you just posted what you posted. So I'm gonna
well, you should read it
defer.
because the comments don't travel with it. So read it out loud. It's better.
Yeah, so Jody just said, I struggle with eating healthy, clean foods. I'm seeing this pattern as a need for me to prioritize so I can connect with my higher self and guides. So these guides that are literally standing in the room, and thank goodness, let me not jinx myself because the lighting has stayed on,
Yes,
unlike
it's been
before.
great.
Is that one of the drivers for us as humans, right? So they're talking to you, Jody, and they're talking to the collectiveness, everybody who's listening, humans, is that one of the drivers of inconsistency is the learned pattern that we all have of brutalizing ourselves, of being the internal, brutal critic, harsh, judgmental, and just expecting perfectionism where it really doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
whatever pattern you're noticing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's food, whether it's something that you're letting go of, money, this guide is saying money, it comes up a lot of the times too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how come money's here and how come money's there and how come I can't hold on to it and stuff? It's
Mm-hmm.
the inner work is number one, having kindness and compassion for yourself. And when we have this huge expectation, especially now, here we are, January 9th, I'm going to get healthy this year. I'm going to eat great. I'm going to work out every single day. And we're
Let's
so
change
stressed out
everything.
from
Yep.
that we're face down in a pan of brownies. Again, if
Mm-hmm.
you think about everything as energy, we cannot sustain that momentum. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, I struggle with eating clean foods, while the journey may have been a struggle up to today,
Mm-hmm.
begin to reward it in a kind way. Meaning, what I would love to do is eat clean. This is what I would love to do. So for this meal right now, I'm going to choose, some berries, some coconut yogurt, and a little bit of protein. Just
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not today, tomorrow, the weeks, next year, because those future forecasting, it tends, as humans, we make everything fatalistic. We catastrophize it. Oh, it's just going to be another year and I didn't lose weight this year and I want to get to
Mm-hmm.
Italy, and how the hell am I going to, somebody I was coaching today, I want to get to Italy, how am I going to walk up all these stairs? I have to, dude, her anxiety level was so high and her guides were like, take a breath,
Mm-hmm.
come back to now. Imagine yourself as a 2-year-old, and
Yeah.
the 2-year-old you is struggling. What are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell her? You're not going to be like, oh, you're such a loser, little 2-year-old. You've been trying to walk and you fell again. You're never going to, I mean, come on. That is brutal. So
Yeah.
once we can begin to have kindness and compassion and soften the brutality towards
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, our inner work, it'll flow. That vibration will just begin to flow with ease,
Yeah.
not perfectionism, ease, which then leads to
Yeah.
consistency, which then leads to the outcomes you want. Does
Yeah.
this make sense?
Yeah, I have found that the last couple of years, that's a recurring message that I get, is just be kinder and be more compassionate towards yourself, because I'm so hard on everyone's so hard on themselves. And I have started to, like, when I don't feel good, I go lay down. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
that sounds so
you.
simple and normal, but I never used to do that. Like, I never would let myself off any hook. I would always be like, "Nope, you said you were gonna work all day. You have to work until you're done." Or, just little things, just like, "I don't feel good today," or "I don't feel like it," or "I don't want to," or, whatever. And then I used to always push through that. And now I say, "You know what? I don't care." Like, I want to
Yeah.
feel good. Like, and then I let myself. And that's what the guides, like, that's when the guides actually start feeling like my partners again. Like, when I'm doing that, it's like we're working as a team. And when I'm pushing myself and working till I drop and things like that, the guides are quiet. They start getting quiet. And I'm like, "Where are you? What's going on? Why are we only connecting when we have to?" And they're like, "You just won't work with us. And we're just trying to work with you, but you won't work with us. We love you." And they just constantly remind me that, like, it's okay to be gentle. It's okay to be compassionate. It's okay to be flawed and not always want to do everything that you think you should do, you know?
Yeah, we are literally driving ourselves into the grave by not having strong
Yes,
boundaries. You
yes,
know how many
yes.
people I used to have a problem saying no. I don't have that anymore. I
Yeah.
am the freaking queen of no
Yeah.
now. And everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And so
I'm
everybody
getting there.
knows that 99% of the time, if they ask me, do you want to do this? Do you want to? My answer is no. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's going to be a permanent no, but by using the
Yeah.
word no, it buys you time to see, is that something that I would like to do? Is it something that brings me joy? Is it something that I want to do or give? I don't do anything out of guilt or obligation. To the best of my ability, if something was to come up, I don't know. I have a very strong boundary no muscle now. It has taken years to get there, a lot of coaching. I am not going to lie. I wasn't because I used to say no. Then it was a whole other excuse behind it. But because dee, or well, no, I can't do it now, but maybe now. I don't have that anymore. Thank God. And so the reason that the guides will not, it feels like they're not interacting you when we're in that with that space. They are.
Oh, yeah.
But they're there, but the thing is they cannot access your energy because you are depleted, and it takes our energy to keep our frequency high to interact with them. So they love you. They are not going to drain you like a freaking Duracell battery. So the times when I'm sick, the times when I'm overstressed, the times when I didn't have strong boundaries, the times where I was doing too much, overcommitting, people pleasing. There was a lot of years there where I was like, where are you guys? Like, I can feel you here, but why don't I hear you the same? And I would just hear the same thing. The vehicle is tired. The vehicle is tired. The vehicle is tired. So finally one day I'm like, how does the vehicle get untired? And she's like, learn to say no. That was like one of my first heavy duty lessons.
Wow.
Learning to say no. And girl, learning to say no without feeling obligated to give a whole dissertation at the end is not easy. And I even today find myself sometimes saying no. And then my mind is like, well, and I'm like, stop it. You don't need to do that. My word no or my word yes is enough. But it takes a lot of growth. It's definitely not perfection, but that is self-care though, right?
Yeah.
Taking a nap is self-care. Saying no is self-care.
Caring about yourself in any way is self-care.
Not driving yourself to the grave with a schedule that's so freaking packed, probably with things that you don't really want to do and don't bring you a lot of happiness and joy. Like, I mean, people, we've only got a certain amount of time here, a certain amount of heartbeats per lifetime, and you don't know when yours end. So fill your time and your life and your energy with things that you like and things that you love and things that you want to do. Because if you do not carve out time in your life for you, you will miss it. And that is the tragedy. You will miss it. And there are many people who miss their lives. They went through lives, but they were not in it.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be that person. Let's not be those people.
I think that's a really common thing, unfortunately.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So what I want to say to you, because of course, we got all off track.
I know.
What I want to say to you
is a lot of time when the guides start talking, like I just let them flow.
Me too. I just let because it needs to come through, and the messages that come through are always the right ones at the right time. So, but I was looking at your numbers while you were talking, and what I saw was how much of a transition that was for you. Like when you talked about how you started saying no and you started having boundaries and you really struggled with guilt and things like that. I'm looking at your numbers and I'm going, wow, like the fact that you can say no at all is like amazing, because you don't have that in your chart. Like your chart is all about not people pleasing. Okay. But it's about like, oh, I'll do whatever you want. And so it's not technically people pleasing because you don't technically have those numbers, but you have a lot of the numbers that go, I worry about what you think more than what I think. I worry about what you feel more than what I feel. And then you have a lot of self-doubt in your chart. So it kind of goes, I don't know, I'm not sure. You probably know best. But so then what I see is that you have moved from all of that into the leadership part of your chart and into the commanding part of your chart, where you have said, I am here to make the world a better place, damn it, and I am going to do that, and I am not going to let anything get in my way. And then you actually stepped into your you have like a lot of creation energy, and you have a lot of reality manipulation energy. And so
Wow.
that's why you have such a good understanding of reality, and that we're the creators of it, because you work in that energy field like
Yes.
solidly. But you
Absolutely.
didn't always, and that's the
I
thing.
don't,
And that's
not
where
at
I'm
all.
seeing
That's
all the
amazing.
transformation. Yeah.
And I'm so glad you can
Yeah.
see that because it's true. And even
Yeah.
like if you think about it from just being a woman, like
Mhm.
think about as women, we're raised to, be the good girl. And we
Yeah.
cook and clean and do all the
And
things. And we're
obey
wife,
and
mom,
yeah.
nurturer. We obey. Everything and everyone comes first. I'm a registered nurse. As nurses, patient comes first. Everybody comes first. We don't eat. We don't go to the bathroom. Nothing comes first. You are secondary. So
Mhm.
this is so ingrained in me and like deferred power, like you were just saying. Well,
Yeah.
you just let me know what you want to have happen and we'll just make it happen.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, let me tell you, that
Mhm.
is still in me at times. Oh, her voice is very low now. I mean, I hear her and I'm like, woo, woo, woo. If she shows up, I'm just like, okay, what am I scared of? What am I hurting? What's hurting in me? But I used to have that a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie, it took classes, mentoring, and coaching. It
Yeah.
did not happen just me struggling on my own. I tried me struggling on my own. And
Yeah.
that's literally what led me to my first coach 20 years ago or
Yeah.
whatever, because I'm like, I
Yeah.
am tired of struggling and self doubt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thank God I don't have that anymore. If it does, it just shows up every now and then, but before it used to be like a soliloquy, the whole
Mhm.
theme, but not anymore. Now it might just be like an
Mhm.
episode, but I
Yeah.
recognize it real quick and shift out of it.
Yeah, I see that completely in your chart. Like, it shows it to me right away, and it shows your energy field. Like, so like I tap into the vibration of the numbers, and I can see like every number has like all these things about it, okay? And you're either on one side of the number or the other or somewhere in between, and you shift all the time. But like all of your like hard numbers, like you have a lot like the insecurity, and you have the I get my feelings hurt. I worry about what people think and what people say and what people want and all those things. All those numbers in your chart are like raised high, and they're going, yeah, we don't do that anymore. Like, we're not doing that anymore. And now you're in your heart energy, and like you have dropped
Wow.
into your heart energy, and now you're beaming this heart energy into the world. And then as soon as I say that, then I see your dolphins, and the dolphins are showing the
Wow.
swimming through life. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. Finally. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. It's kind of like when
Yeah.
you rub and tumble and you finally get to a place
Yeah.
and it never ends, right? But
Yeah.
it's just, I truly believe in like when these guides come through,
Mhm.
their main thing is like, what would you love to experience in this life? And
Mhm.
Jody, they're asking you this too, because Jody just posted, I
Mhm.
retired early about 2 months ago. I'm shocking everybody by telling them my plan is to do nothing. They're like, high five, and tell people no, yes,
Good.
boundaries, and become me. So on your search
Mhm.
for you, Jody, and
Yeah.
everybody else who's listening,
Yeah.
tap into what would I absolutely love to experience in this lifetime? Who would I love to be in this lifetime? Not with judgment, not with harshness. Well, I would love to be rich, but my bank account is empty. Oh my God, if you hear your voice start saying that, no,
Mhm.
no. Kindness and compassion. Who would you love to be? What experiences would you love to do, to feel, to experience? She's saying, bring in the juiciness of life.
Mhm.
And once you're tapped into that, then the action step of, well, how does this happen, or what steps do we take? Those are all secondary. The
Yeah.
tapping into the vibration is first.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And most of us have gotten lost under job, kids. This is not good or bad, just mortgage, being whatever, that we forget.
Yeah.
What is the juiciness in my life? This year of the fire horse, starting February 17th, I think, in the Chinese. If there is any year that you're going to giddy up, gallop, and go, this is the year.
That's good,
Yes, Shelly. Amen, sister. Yeah,
she
people
says
pleasing
she used to be a people pleaser, but now she set strong boundaries and she's so much happier and healthier. That's the thing, is that if you don't start caring about you, you're going to lose a grip on your life. You just are. Like, you have to care about you. You have to, because the whole thing, like you've been hearing your whole life, and it's practically a cliche at this point. You can't love anyone else unless you love yourself. Everybody always says that, but nobody actually understands that. But it's so true. Like, it's so true that until you understand how to love yourself and appreciate yourself and at least respect yourself, nobody else can. Like, nobody can.
And
You won't
even
let them.
and even what that means. You know what, Tammy, we're going to have to do a whole talk on just self-love, because the guides have counseled me in depth around self-love, and it's not, Hallmark has captured the self-love corner. And in the spiritual community, we can use self-love to beat ourselves up. Well, if you loved yourself, you would just blah, blah, blah. Or you know what? Since I love myself, I'm going to just eat this entire chocolate cake and shove it down with milk because it's been so hard and I just love myself. I'm going to take care of myself this way. It has been hijacked. It's been Hollywooded. It's been Hallmark D, and self-love. Do we have time just for me? Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure, because I don't when oh my goodness, there they go.
The guides are like, we'll answer that question.
There they go. Oh my God. I knew it. I knew they were going to turn something off in some minute. And we're going to have to continue this conversation if you'd like.
Yes. Let's do a part two.
They're like, self-love for you humans is so misunderstood. And I'm like, please tell me about this. And they're like, you guys are in search of a feeling. You guys are in search of an emotion. Self-love, it is not a feeling or an emotion. It is a vibration. And the way you get to that vibration is through the action of your choices that support your desired outcomes. You want to let go of weight? Today you choose not to eat the bonbons and sit in front of Netflix. This is what they consider self-love. You might not feel anything. You might be feeling like, oh, this sucks because I'd rather have the bonbons and the Netflix. But you make a choice that supports your bigger and best and healthiest vision. This is how they define self-love. They went much more into it, but they're like, you guys are in search of the rom-com, on Netflix for Christmas. We're like, oh, everything feels so good. And so much marketing around self-love. But in the spiritual community, we beat ourselves up about it. We judge ourselves and each other. Well, if she would just love herself, she wouldn't be with that loser guy. No, that's not how they describe it.
Yeah.
If self-love comes by contemplating, I'm not happy in the relationship that I'm in. How do I begin to make choices that support the healthier relationship that I want? You might feel terrified because it means you need to tell this loser we're breaking up, and you might, and he's all I've known for 20 years and I'm going to stay with him forever. All of this stuff. But self-love is strong boundaries, even with yourself. You said that you were going to go to the gym today. I don't want to go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym, but what is your desired outcome? And does the action you're about to take support your desired outcome? If it does, then you're operating in the frequency of self-love. If it doesn't, again, there's no judgment from their sides. You are just not in alignment or in harmony. So how do you just move over? The way they
Yeah.
describe it is so simple, but it is not an emotion.
Yeah.
Does that
I
make
agree.
sense?
Yeah, I agree. That is how they explain it to me as well. It's kind of like they say, "What is it that you want?" And you kinda go,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is what I want." Okay, say what you want is to go to Hawaii. Okay, you wanna go to Hawaii in 6 months, okay? And you need the money for that, you need the body to wear the swimsuit, that's how you feel anyway, that's what you want. And you need, maybe a partner to come with you or whatever. So those are your 3 goals, to get there, and then the guides say, "Okay, now choose everything that meets those 3 goals," you know?
Yeah.
Just don't choose the things that don't. That's it. Like, don't choose
Yeah.
the things that take you away from that goal. Choose the things that are on the path to that goal. That's it. And it's super easy, but we don't do it. Like, because it's super easy in thought, not in practice, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes it's so easy. Like I'll tell my guide, I'm like, I really want to. And my guide's like, just do that.
Yeah,
Like, why are you
just
struggling?
do everything that leads you
Just do
that
that.
way. Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, why didn't I think about that? And she's like, because you're
Yeah.
overcomplicating the situation. And it always bottles down, it
Yeah.
always boils down to what do you want?
Yes. What do you want?
Truly, truly though, what do you
Yeah.
want? And a lot of
Well,
times, I'll coach people and they're like, well, what I really want is this, but I
yeah,
feel bad because if I want this, that
exactly.
means it's going to take stuff away from my kids and I can't do that. I have to be here for my kids. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but the guides are like, well, how can you do both?
Yeah. How can you have what you really
Because
want?
our kids are growing, they are living their lives, they are doing their thing. Your
Mhm,
kids, our kids, are not sacrificing their lives for us, and they
mhm.
shouldn't.
No, they
But
shouldn't.
what is it about, again, like getting over 40 or 50, and especially in women thinking, well, I have to wait till they grow up or till they do this. I'm not talking about little kids. I'm talking about, when they get in their 20s and
Yeah.
30s. I can't do this because the kids and the kids. And you know what, honey? When is your life coming for you?
Mhm.
When is it coming for you? Because I worked in ICU, CCU, open heart, 10 years worked at night, simultaneously did 1 year of hospice at the same time. 100% of my patients died. And that was a lot of people per week,
Wow.
right? Some people died in 2 hours, some people died in 2 days, some people died in 2 weeks, 100% died. For a year, it was probably what, like 40 people a week that I was at the bedside. And I'm telling you, people learn from their experiences. The biggest regret that everybody had is number one, dying with regret.
Mhm.
Like one of my patients was like,
Mm.
don't miss your life. And
Yeah.
and to this day, I hear this man in my head saying, don't miss your life. Don't miss your life. And then a lot of people dying with regret. You know what? I should have asked her out. I should have taken that job, or I should have told my boss to, F off. I shouldn't have been so scared. I should have gone to Tahiti when I wanted to, but I blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. So that is the word. This is when the guides talk about you will miss your life. These are the little points that we begin to miss our life, because one day we're all going to be 80 if we make it there. One day we're all going to be 90 if we make it there, and our physical body is no longer going to have the capacity to climb the mountains of whatever. So there's not we don't have a large physical window,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
going to Hawaii, going to Italy, going to all of these places, even just going down the street to the backyard and wanting to walk up a flight of stairs without gassing out.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that is called self-love.
Yeah.
Getting up and down those stairs until you've got the VO2 max and the lung capacity to not be falling out, almost having a heart attack because you're walking up
Yeah.
one flight of stairs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I have noticed a lot of people that come to me for coaching, don't even know what they want. They don't define what they
99 and
want.
3/4%.
And
Yeah.
I always go, what do you mean you don't know what you want? Like, don't you think about it? And they're like, I stopped thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, let's start thinking about that. Let's start thinking about that. Why don't you walk through your day and say, I would prefer this to be like this. I would prefer this to be like this. Just start pointing at things in your life and say, I would like to upgrade my kitchen. I would like to go on more trips. I would like to have a nicer car. I would like to be happier in my conversations and relationships or whatever. Just start noticing where in your life you're not feeling love. You're not feeling joy. You're not looking at your life and going, wow, this was all by my creation, and start thinking, what would it be if it was, And
Yeah.
then they come back and they're like, now I have a laundry list, And I'm like, okay, let's start making some changes,
Absolutely. I think I work for myself and
Mhm.
the people who I coach with me privately,
Mhm.
we coach and we coach with their spirit team.
Yeah.
I work for a company where I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach. That's why all my examples are always health. I
Yeah.
work with people who are chronic conditions, diabetes, GERD, IBS, reflux, asthma, heart, high cholesterol. I work for the company and this is what we coach around. What
Yeah.
I can tell you is 99 and 3/4% of the people who I work with when we start have no idea what they want.
Yeah.
They think that they would like to have a car or they would like to have a house. Those are things that they would like to have. And it's usually, but I don't have the money, but I don't have the time, but I don't have, it's just like,
It's always,
wow, bro, like you're killing
I
your dreams
can't
before we even get
because.
started.
Yeah.
I can't because so
Yeah.
a lot of the work we do is, okay, spirit guides, come on in. Let's soothe this person's nervous system.
Mm.
Let's get some breaths. Let's take this anxiety down and let's use our creative imagination to think about what is it that I want, not just to have, but what do I want to feel?
Yeah.
And most of my coaching starts at that base of uncovering what do I want. And I love that word prefer because Bashar uses that word all the time. Like, what would you
Yeah.
prefer? Well, I
Yeah.
don't like that. Okay, great. What would you prefer?
Yeah.
And once you start building and clearly understand what you want, and it doesn't mean like it's forever, things are dynamic and organic and can change. But when you have a really solid understanding of what you want, this is where your boundaries will grow really quickly because anything is that's not that, you will begin to
You'll
not let in.
you'll notice. Like, the thing is, when you're not defining what it is your target is, you're not understanding the difference in the energy, So as soon as you say, this is what I would rather feel like in my own house, every time something doesn't feel like that, you're going to notice it once you define it,
Yes.
and then you will be able to say, okay, no more of this and no more of that and more of this, please, and you just do that. I mean, I've been doing that for years now. And it's never ending. It doesn't ever stop because you're always creating more and you're always having more problems and more challenges and whatever. So, like, you're always going, okay, yes to this and no to that, and yes to this and no to that. But if you don't have a defined outcome, you never know what you're saying yes and no for, like you don't. That's where boundaries matter, but you can't have boundaries without a defined outcome. You can't really
Absolutely.
have boundaries until you say, this is the life I'm trying for. This is who I want to be. This is who I want around me. These are the experiences I want to have. This is how I want to feel in my life. Um,
Absolutely.
I
And
I
this is
I feel like you can change anything, with just defining it, just defining what you want it to be, you know.
yeah, and even if it doesn't turn out exactly like that,
Which
this
it
is
never
again
does.
where no, and this is where your spirit guides and spirit team, you guys, all of you listening, have an
Mhm.
entire spirit team.
Mhm.
That myth of I'm alone, like we can have the emotion of loneliness,
Mhm.
very human, very common. But I am alone, the statement of I am alone could not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
You are just quiet or consciously disconnected. The truth is we are never alone. So when you guys are thinking about, here we are in a new year, what would I like, what is your vision for this year? When you start building a vision, your vision will then filter down to, what do I want? And then from the vision and what do I want, then you can ask your guides to help you with, what are my first steps? Or coach with me, coach with Tammy, get readings from both of us, and the spirit guides will tell you, start here, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this is what we do for ourselves, for each other, and also other people. So you don't have to struggle and try to figure out all on your own. Trust me, you're not going to be able to. That's why coaches and mentors and readers and all of this stuff are so important. Like, you can choose to never have a reading, and that's great too. But why would you just sit in your house and go in circles when, whether it's me or Tammy or whoever else you choose to work with, it's like, access your spirit team so you can feel supported and cared for and into that creative energy.
Well, I think the most important, not the most important relationship, but one of the most important relationships you ever will make is with your spirit guides. And I think that everyone should learn how to access that relationship, and they should learn how to talk to them themselves, you know? And I assume you teach that, because I know I teach that. Like, I love to give people the keys to their life, you know? Like, I love to say, you know, this is how I learned this, and this is how you can learn this too, you know? Like, your guides are always here trying to talk to you. If you just learn how to understand the way they talk, you will be able to talk to them yourself. And that should be the goal, you know? Like, the goal should always be, you know, I want to have that relationship open back up so that I can work with my team, so that I don't feel so alone. And something I tell people about, you know, the way that we exist is that it feels very alone to be human, because we are made up of hundreds and thousands of tiny little particles, and all of those particles are normally scattered anywhere they want to be, and they can go anywhere they want, and they can interact and flow with everything around them in the energetic field. But when we come and take a body, most of those particles are contained in a vessel, and then we feel very separate from everyone else. And normally we feel like we flow like waves, you know, like in an ocean. We feel like we flow right with all the other people's energy, and we don't have this barrier like we do when we're human. And so human always feels lonely, no matter how many people you have around you, no matter how many guides you have around you. You feel lonely because this isn't how we normally interact. We don't normally have this separate feeling because we're not normally in a vessel. So you're always going to feel like that, and you're always going to have that longing. But how you can bridge that gap is to make all the relationships that are around you, and to make them strong, and to understand that this is temporary and this is not your normal. And then you actually, the more relationships you make, the more you feel like you're part of a whole rather than an individual, you know, which is really more the truth. You know, you're more part of a whole than an individual.
Yeah. And just like, you know, what you do, Tammy, by having these live streams on Friday, by bringing people to talk, by all of the people who are participating and listening to us now, you know, the more connected we can be energetically with other people, especially who share our interests, the journeys and stuff. Get yourself with people and people who are having similar experiences. Learn from each other, grow with each other. And, you know, again, like the guides, the main thing that guides always say to me is like, you humans struggle so much. Like, we're here to help you make it easy. And even when we're trying to make it easier for you, you guys find a way to resist and continue struggling. And then one of them is like, well, I guess this is just a human condition. And I'm like, well, it is a human condition. And I get that you guys don't totally understand because you've never been human, but they understand in the sense of, because they guide all our humans. Like, there's every single person has some non-physical guides. Plus, I have read so many people now, thousands of people since 1996, all over the US, out of the country, all ages, races, everything. There's common themes within humans: the desire for inner peace, the desire to love and be loved, the desire for safety and security, the desire for health and well-being, the desire to have money, right? To have food, and to have a family, people that they can bond and connect and love with. And then connection to source, whether it's God or Jesus or Buddha or whatever you call it. It's the desire to anchor into something bigger than me so I don't feel alone or scared as I age, or never even just my aging, but like, I know that I'm going to be dead one day, and where am I going? Right? Like, these are common themes across the board.
Yeah.
So these guides, even though they've never been human, since the human all shares these themes and they guide on all these themes, then they are not, it's not surprising when they come in and say, you guys are just making things so much harder than it needs to be. And then it always comes right back down to, what do you want? What steps would you like to take to get there? And what are you willing to commit to? And I don't know about you guys, but I hear, what am I willing to commit to? And I'm like, oh man, here comes that commitment.
Sounds like work.
I'm just like, ah. And it's so funny because my guides, like when I was working, we did in November, we did the dolphin journey into your future self. And so when my dolphins and I connected with my future self, and I asked her, what are my words for 2026? And my words is divine discipline and consistency. When I heard the word discipline, I was like, oh no, not again. And then my guides was like, divine discipline, which is a little bit different than your mind struggling around, I got to be disciplined. So, part of the journey with your guides is, how do I make this easy? Like, whatever it is that's going on in your life right now, this is what this guide is saying. Look at your life, wake up tomorrow morning, and something that you're struggling with, or something that you would just like to be a little bit better, even just like organizing the room and stuff. It's just, how can I make this easy? How can I make this easy? She's saying to make this your mantra. Like, you're looking around, how can I make this easy? Here comes this, I'm at work, blah, blah, blah. How can I make it easy? And you will be accessing a lot of energy through your guides.
Yeah. Okay, so Patrine says, Tammy, your latest lesson on protection around cord cutting. She's talking about wizard school.
Oh, I gotcha.
I'm using, and I have more energy now. I added to it requesting that people connected to me from cords for them to get the energy from me they deserve. If they don't deserve my energy, they won't get it. And I suddenly got a lot of energy back because I have chronic exhaustion. Yeah,
Amen,
that was the entire reason I put the cord cutting in. So I just did a lesson on energy shielding and protection, when doing spiritual work, because they're at the end of the course right now. And I added, just as an afterthought, I added a little bit of a cord cutting exercise. And I was just like, I take back all of my energy from all the places, and I'm glad that you're getting energy from that, because I think that when we disconnect, because we connect to so many things, good and bad, like not necessarily good or bad, good and bad, all of it, that your energy gets so scattered. So when you just kind of cut all that and take your energy back, you have so much more to use. So that's good. I'm glad it's working.
And high five you, Patrine.
That's awesome. Does. Yeah.
And I love that. If they don't deserve my energy, they won't get it. Ooh, that is like a powerful, powerful statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
good,
Jody, thank
Jody.
you.
I'm glad you
Thank
like
you.
it. So we went completely off topic, but that's okay. We didn't do numerology. We didn't do a lot of stuff that we were going to do, but that's okay. Um, but I love this and I'm so glad that we did it. And I mean, just thank you for being here. Like everything we talked about felt so relevant to me. I hope it felt relevant to everybody, you know. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, and I thank you. And it's so funny because like the guides are all here and they're like, okay, and then we're gonna talk and we'll do numbers or whatever. And then once the guides start talking, and it's funny because you ask like for a message, whatever. And so this guide is like, yeah, we have messages, but it's for this whole entire group.
For the
They
collective.
need to hear this.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so like you're however they want to do it, and it never turns out how we think. But I really
It's
appreciate
good.
you
Yeah.
having me here, and I love the work that you do. And all of you guys who are here listening, thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Yeah,
And
thank you guys. And hi to everyone I didn't say hi to, like Patrick and Karen and Shelly and everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys, of course. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great night and bye, Julie.